Hello, welcome to Jim Creates. This is video 2 of our video series on making maple syrup. And today's video, as you saw in the title, was all about collecting sap. Now, the principle behind collecting sap is fairly simple. You take your sanitized container that you're going to carry it in. We used 5-gallon pails in this case. You ambulate out to your trees, grab your sap bags off your trees or whatever buckets you're using. Dump the sap into your secondary bucket. Hang your collection vessel back on the tree, and you walk on into the next tree and repeat the process over and over again until all of your sap is collected. Now, since there really isn't much to talk about there, I think I'd like to spend a few more minutes speaking about some things I didn't speak about in the last video. One of which was tree types, size of the trees, overall health of the trees, our collection equipment, storage equipment, and a brief overview of evaporation equipment and what you can use for that. So to launch straight in, tree types, basically you have to tap a maple tree. It can be any type of maple tree. It does not have to be a sugar maple tree. And you can also tap box elder trees, I guess. I don't have any box elder trees, so I can't confirm that. Size of the tree, it must be 10 inches in diameter minimum. 10 to 21 inches in diameter, you can put in one tap. Any more than that and you will stress the tree of that size. Between 21 and 27 inches in diameter, you can put in 2 taps. 27 and above, you can put in 3 taps. You do not want to probably put in more than 3 taps in any tree because that opens up a lot of holes in the trees and gives a place for, ants, bugs, viruses, other things to get into the tree, and it can be bad. It can be detrimental for your tree. Overall health of the tree should be easy to see from the outside. The bark should be nice and healthy. The crown of the tree should look nice. Full, lush crown is what you're looking for. It doesn't have to be perfect because different trees grow in different ways. Collection equipment. Now, here's where it gets interesting. You don't have to invest a lot in collection equipment. I know it looks like I do. I don't really. We started out just using free pails that we got from people, and that was a good way to go for quite a while. We only had maybe 10 taps, and it was easy to clean 10 buckets and store 10 buckets. And once we got into a larger quantity of trees, I had to figure something else out. And so that's why we went to the system that you see now. But I would say if you're starting out, keep your investment small. It is a hobby after all, unless you're going to get into this as a business. But you're not going to be thinking in terms of buckets at that point. You're going to be doing lines and massive collection containers and all that sort of stuff. And if you want to do a deep dive on that, you can go on the internet. It's all out there. So keep it simple at first. Storage equipment, also try to keep it simple. You have to have something that is going to be out of the sunlight, is going to be able to store all of the sap that you plan on collecting between running it or between evaporating it down to sugar. And it has to be something that keeps stuff out of the sap as much as possible. At least that's optimal. Sap does go bad if you don't run it fast enough or soon enough after collecting it. You have about a week in cool conditions and much shorter time if it's warm outside. You'll notice it's starting to go bad if it gets cloudy. It'll get really cloudy and then it'll smell sour. And that sap has gone too far. I would not boil that sap. If it's slightly cloudy, I'll still boil it. It's not bad at that point. Evaporators. When I started this, I was using a homemade evaporator that I made on a 55-gallon drum that just had a very small turkey roaster pan, and it did about 1 gallon per hour of evaporation rate. We stepped up our how many taps we put in the trees, and suddenly I had so much sap I couldn't evaporate it all, and I ended up getting rid of some of it at the end of the season. And so we decided to make an investment in a much larger evaporator, and you'll see that in the next video. But I just want to let you know there are options if you're just at home trying this. Just use a pot. If you have a turkey fryer, use that. Give it a try. There's nothing stopping you. Here you get a little bit of a look at those barrels I was talking about that we use. They're 55-gallon drums. I cut the tops off of them and then flipped them over as lids. And you just store them indoors. Try to keep it clean. You can see there was moths in the sap. the moths just get in. They'll find a way. They love the sugar. So do flies. So does a lot of things. But I'm going to be boiling this for hours, and then it gets very hot once it turns into syrup. So I'm not at all worried about pests in my syrup. If there are fine mammals in it, that's when I start to panic a little bit. But that about does it for this video. If you enjoy these videos, if you have questions, comments, don't be afraid to leave them down below, because I'm always looking for feedback. And if you really like this stuff, if you think about giving a like and a subscribe, I wouldn't say no. But until then, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. All right, bye.